All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Vortex Lounge, the podcast where we're going to talk about everything creative. And time to time, we're going to bring on creators like our first guest here, Digital Onslaught, or Onslaught for short. And in the show, really simple, we're going to discuss everything creative, talk about updates, talk about our thoughts, feelings, and then ask questions about our guests and get a little bit of a deeper insight on why they create. All right.
That's nice.
So to start off really quickly, UEFN released. How long has it been? Like 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, maybe somewhere around there.
And have you gotten to play around with it at all, Onslaught?
Yeah, I have. I'm actually creating a map right now.
Oh, what's that map?
Well, firstly, like to backtrack a bit, I had another map that I was working on. It was like a wasteland type of free for all. Basically, I was using like fab props, but after the recent update, Epic kind of screwed up with the fab presets, so I couldn't even like launch the session. So I had to move on to another project entirely, which sucks since I was like working on it.
Yeah, it's been a bit bugs with the launching sessions. That shit gets really annoying, right? It's just fucking.
Yeah, we're good.
What was it? There is a fucking thing that I saw on Twitter, and it's I don't know if you saw it, and I think Mustard Plays reacted to it too. It's this dinosaur temple run looking shit called Rex Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I don't know.
It's the thing that he posted. It was like a little cinematic, and then you go down a zip line, and then the camera pans behind you, and there's a fucking T-Rex. It's so sick.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, Mustard reacted to this shit, and I happen to be friends with the guy that made it. So he goes and he DMs me, and he shows me Mustard actually like went and DM'd him asking for the code, like begging for the code so he can show everyone how fucking insane it is. But it's like the guy that made it is only
I'm cutting out.
Oh, it's alright. The guy that made the map, he's nowhere near publishing the shit. It's kind of sad, actually, but there we go. What was I on about though? Oh,
I know that.
You know what?
Epic, they locked me out of the map thing, the map earnings, the economy 2.0, because back with that Rocket League thing, since I knew they locked you out if you were under 13 and I was over 13, I just put my honest age, and now they're like, well, clearly not 18, so now you can't do it.
That's great.
Like, okay.
Speaking, since we already mentioned Mustard, did you see Mustard's? He made his own Reddit. I think it is. It's a Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Fortnite Creative Reddit, but better.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love it. I actually found out today, because I self promoted the podcast on the official Fortnite Creative Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there was no self promotion. So I self-promoted it, and I get a message like an hour later that says you're banned. And I'm like, what? The fuck? But Mustard's actually allows that, which is awesome. I love that. So it might as well be the same thing as the creative Reddit, but it just has more options. You can do more. I like it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Onslaught.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, you good?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just,
We're back full time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So the question I was going to ask is, now that we're further into UEFN, and everyone's like really getting settled and getting used to it, how's your experience been? You got any nitpicks?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been able to jump in UEFN when it released, since my video kind of got fried. So I had like 2 weeks of not being able to play. And I was so way excited to the party, and then when I got into it, I needed like 2 days to like actually know how the tools work. So it's just like so different from the Fortnite Creative, right?
Yeah.
I started making the first map, and then now we're here. But like the my current map that I'm doing right now is super ambitious, honestly. It's nothing
Yeah.
like I've
Yeah.
done before.
What's the idea of the map? What are you going for?
So it's like it's super
Oh,
ambitious to
my
the point
bad.
that
Someone called me.
all right.
You're good. You can keep going.
Well, yeah. So it's like super ambitious to the point that no one else did the idea in UFN or in Fortnite Creative. Like I'm the first person to do it, so it puts a lot of pressure on me. But yeah, it is. It's basically
There
gonna be
goes
like
everybody.
All right, then. You guys better stay tuned. Can't wait to see what he comes up with.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still like, it's like at least 30% done. Basically, I still need a lot of fixes, but it's basically gonna be like I don't want to like spoil a lot of things that I don't want other people to steal the idea since it's like super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically gonna be like, have you guys played No Man's Sky? You guys know the game?
I think.
No, I actually haven't.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Oh, when did I join? Yeah. So basically, it's like
Oh,
a
there we go.
huge open world space game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you spawn in the world, you're gonna be able to like you're gonna spawn in a space station because it's gonna be like an entire industry basically. And then you're gonna go to a certain like hangar, and then you could fly your spaceship into other planets and stuff like that. Like super ambitious. So
Oh, that sounds awesome. I love space games.
and
That
it's
sounds
not
like
yeah.
there's another game that I was thinking that as a team here we can make. Have you played Warframe? Any of you?
Nope.
I've heard of it, but I haven't played with no.
It's like Destiny, but with ninjas. I don't know how to explain it. It's Destiny, but with ninjas.
Okay.
Ninjas. It's cool. You know what game I was talking about? It's so fun, and I love that game. I play it a lot, and I don't think the mechanics that are in that game are possible in Fortnite, though. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
But definitely not. Their mechanics go crazy though.
Yeah. Maybe you can do it like at 1 or 2 years down the line when UEFN catches up to your Unreal Engine and stuff like that.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you guys see the timeline for UEFN?
Yeah, we have.
No, I actually haven't.
You haven't?
It's like
No,
it says like in the first period it's like basic BR maps, and then like in 1 to 2 years it's gonna be like mid game ranges and stuff like that, and then like coming soon. Basically, they don't even have like a timestamp for it. It's gonna be like simulated games and like entire like GTA type maps. You know, it's gonna be like
Oh yeah.
super dense.
all right.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that in 2 years from now.
Right now,
Personally, I would take it with a grain of salt though,
Yeah,
Yeah, I would.
because
But
it took a while for UEFN to drop when we were meant to get it. You know, like a year ago.
Yeah,
Well,
it took it a while.
from some stuff that I heard, the main reason of anything that it didn't drop as soon as they wanted to was just because of verse.
true.
So I feel like verse is the main thing to stay away from for the most part.
But the weird part
It's
is, I feel like a lot of people are utilizing first.
yeah,
Like,
because
I don't
it's
see a lot of people using it since it's so complicated. If you,
I haven't even touched it yet.
it's not even just the fact that it's complicated; it's that it's new and
Yeah, true.
UEFN brought in this audience to creative that like no one knows. All these developers coming in. I've seen so many UE5 developers just like hop into Fortnite. It's so weird. It's so obscure.
The thing is, if they didn't like implement verse and they just used like C++ or like a known coding language, it would be much
Right.
easier. But they brought in like this new thing that people had to learn from scratch. So that's the
I
problem.
think-
Yeah.
I think the idea that they were going for was releasing verse would put everyone on the same level.
True. Yeah, you're right.
It didn't really work.
Yeah, it backfired.
But the idea had meaning into it, and I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that 1.0 was missing a lot. Or like if you were on a higher skill level as someone else, you were just on a higher skill level. There's nothing else to it. But it's I've been seeing a lot of hate on UEFN recently. And
Why
I
would
don't have much hate.
Yeah,
it's about how like it's so much harder to find new things because you can basically do everything. But that's why I love watching like Mustard,
that,
because
like,
Mustard in his server, you see all of the like amazing creations and all the amazing stuff that people are doing, all the different stuff. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just what I don't like is actually that 1.0 still plays such a huge part in 2.0. Like there's good parts about that, but I feel like as we move forward, 1.0 is gonna have to get pushed away further.
Yeah, but I mean, it's easier for me because I've never touched anything as complicated as UEFN. But it's just, I feel easier because it still has something I'm used to in it.
Yeah,
Depends what kind of tools they end up bringing to 1.0 in the future.
That's a
me too.
Great concern. Like, it feels like with UEFN, there's nothing more that they can do with 1.0.
Yeah, true. I mean, they could like do like making the adding the sequencer, since I feel like it would be easier to just make like a prop move where they can move around different ways instead of just like forward or back, and maybe landscaping device. But I feel like there's a lot of things you can't add to consoles. Like there's like certain points where you can't add them. And that's the thing. Like people are
well, you could. It would just you have to scale it back like a ton.
Yeah, and at that point, it's gonna be lost, like the actual thing in the process. So
a lot
of people are gonna migrate to PC because of UEFN.
Who knows where technology is gonna be in the next 2 years or so?
God.
Yeah.
Like all that could be possible.
It's a lot to take.
An entire map with a controller. I feel like that would be kind of awkward using the editor with a controller, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I could do that.
But I think it was Donald Mustard. No, not Donald. It was Tim Sweeney that said like it's gonna be available for console at some point, but use a keyboard and mouse if you're gonna do that. Plug in a keyboard and mouse because
he actually like said it.
By that standard, it means that there probably is gonna be controller support, but it's gonna be way harder than it would be to use a keyboard and mouse. And I think that probably has to do with like scripting, because nobody wants to type all the script on controller.
Yeah,
that would be annoying.
I could never do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, touching back with what Enderbyte said, I feel like since he said like 1 to 2 years, I feel like take that with a grain of salt, and maybe like 4 years probably.
It's a lot of waiting.
Yeah, it is. But at least we have like it's a huge jump from 1.0 to 2.0, so
it really is.
Wait.
I wouldn't even know. I haven't gotten to use UEFNs, but I can imagine the jump between being a 1.0 creator for so many years to just going into the UEFN. It's got to be wild.
It is. I have no idea what I'm doing. Every single thing I do has to be a tutorial.
I mean, I did like touch on Unreal Engine before and Unity and stuff like that, so I do have like a bit of experience. That's why it's kind of easier to jump into. But I feel like if someone is going in blind, they're gonna take a while to like get into.
Yeah, but what's so good about it, right, is if you want to go to other game engines or even Blender, just stuff like that in the future, UEFN has a lot of the same stuff that you can just bring over.
I've seen. It's like why go into Fortnite when you could just go into UE5 and do the same thing?
Exactly.
But my argument to that is just like there's no other game in the entire world that will allow you to make games in a game engine and publish it to a platform where there's millions and millions of players. Millions. And it's so cool that they're even able to do that in the first place. Just the ability to take your content that you made in an engine, an actual engine, and go and just publish it to millions of players. It's really cool.
I think that's like, pretty cool.
It's a limitation it's limitation, but your benefit is that you're getting players, you're getting money, and you're getting recognition too.
Yeah.
but there's also the fact people rely on discovery too much, and I think that's still a thing.
They do.
Even now, there's discovery is a great thing, but people kind of take discovery and they think it's their only way to get out there, and it isn't.
It's not.
Yeah.
You gotta do some stuff yourself.
Yep. You gotta stand out from the crowd.
But that's why I think a lot of creators end up failing and quitting, because they rely on Epic to do everything for them too much, and they don't take into account that they're just promoting what they can do.
If you saw the state of Discovery, you would quit too. Like if you saw it a year ago, it was terrible. So you can see why a lot of people like.
I think it's gotten better. I definitely do.
It
has gotten better, but it still needs some help.
Yeah.
It needs some major help. But I'm pretty sure that the team that was moderating Discover was the same team working on UEFN, which is why it was so bad.
What do you think?
Very stretched out.
Yeah.
Wait, is it like a fact or just like speculating?
Yeah, I'm speculating. I don't really know.
It sounds pretty good.
The team isn't as big. It's just like during the alpha and whatnot, there's a lot more third-party groups that were able to help out and help iron out everything and kind of get it to where it is today.
Yeah.
I can imagine the struggle, though. It's like Epic Games is not as big of a team as it could be.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I feel like getting your map in Discovery is definitely automated. It's not like someone manually checking it.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of instances.
There's no way.
I don't think it's all moderated, but I mean, I don't think it's all automatically moderated, but there's definitely some stuff that's just done by AI.
There's a lot of like copyrighted stuff that gets into Discovery, so there's no way that's going to be like moderated by someone.
I don't know if you guys saw the massive purge that they did on zombie map creators. It's obvious that they're worrying about the copyright.
Well, no, that's because of Activision. So that's like something that was always a risk of making like IP branded content without permission of that IP, is that they could reach out to Epic and then, get it taken down, or just not even reach out to Epic, reach out to those creators. So that was always an issue, but because people, like, as soon as UEFN launched, especially with that domination map, that was one of the first ones that came out with it, people started comparing it to Call of Duty and being like, well, just play this, it's free and all that. Yeah. And obviously,
I mean, we're similar.
That puts a lot of eyes on Fortnite when that happens, and Activision saw that and was like, yeah, no, we can't have this. So they see all these.
UEFN as a whole just put a lot of stress on Fortnite.
Yeah, but if you saw, like, I don't know why they're not like they only targeted like Fortnite created stuff. When Roblox does a lot of that and just gets away with it.
Yeah, I think
Roblox isn't. I mean, it kind of is, but the majority of Roblox isn't able to recreate like maps like Call of Duty maps that accurately.
Did you see there was a map, I don't know what it's called on Roblox, that looks identical to Call of Duty.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know I'm better than I. So
it's really good.
Yeah, and like I don't see Activision telling them to shut it down.
But yeah, that's one of the things. Like I never see any copyright on Roblox getting taken down, but I guess it does have something to do with like there's such a huge catalog on Roblox that it would be hard to even like notice that.
If they can't even start.
Nintendo? Well, of course.
Yeah, Nintendo. They like.
I
mean, if you saw the shop on Roblox, there is like millions of copyrighted stuff on there, like games and stuff like that as shorts. So people are making money off copyrighted stuff.
The thing is, there aren't a ton of eyes on that, right? Activision only took action when, I think it was like Miss Java's map, the Rust one, started getting, broadcasted all over Twitter. Like, I saw that everywhere, especially when Fortnite had that first-person glitch. And when everyone sees it, even the higher ups, the big brands see that too, like Activision. But with that Roblox map, you may have seen it, but I haven't. Right. I don't know if, broadcasted as much. And Fortnite has a lot of eyes on its platform in terms.
A lot of these creators on Fortnite are younger, and a lot of them were not educated on copyright. Like me, I wasn't educated on copyright either. So when I was going around protesting on Twitter, there was this idea that there was a lack of communication between Epic and the people who got their maps banned. And I still do think there was a lack of communication, but as I've read more into copyright, I understand more now why it happened in the first place and why there was little to no communication. And I like to compare it to YouTube to some degree because YouTube doesn't fuck around with copyright at all.
Nope.
They get straight on there. And so I think Epic is moving towards that direction, but I don't know how to feel about how they're not allowing creators to put copyright stuff before even publishing it.
Yeah. I feel like if Fortnite allows like copyright stuff, they would make tons of money. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Right.
Exactly. Because Fortnite is known for, in the past, allowing teams to recreate games like Fall Guys or Among Us and actually promoting that in their game. Like, they had the whole Spy Within quest and everything. Epic is known for, taking things from other games and using it to their advantage.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it makes sense that they're playing the waiting game, just, all right, we'll just have that, large gaming company come to us or go to that creator because it's the creator's responsibility, not Epic's.
Yeah.
And tell them to take it down.
That's, I think.
So that's why I'm a little confused on what they said about banning people who do all this IP stuff because I don't know. I think it's more of a scare or to get people a little bit more aware or just bringing up the same rule again. Because it does. I mean, I saw a Five Nights at Freddy's map the other day. It was like a prop hunt. It had the characters and everything.
Oh, I played it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a ton of IP stuff going on in UEFN, and I don't think Epic are the ones who are gonna take action, but rather they're just gonna wait for those large gaming companies to do it.
Yeah.
Themselves.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just with UEFN, you can pretty much replicate so many different games now by just pulling their assets, right?
Right.
So there's more eyes on that.
That was one of the scary parts about UEFN, though, recreations. Just the thought that you can import something from a game that you like and recreate it like that. It was kind of scary. Because original content is I don't have a problem with copyright and recreations, but I think original content is what should be carrying creative as a whole.
True.
Yeah.
One of the things that actually interests me is reading that whole thing, and part of it, one of a really weird part was saying even if you post anything that's IP related that was made in UEFN. And what's so strange about that is if I were to, model or pose an IP character in Blender and post it, that's fine. Yeah. But does that mean I can't use UEFN for that artistic aspect? Not really publish it or anything, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of gray area there, and Epic they need to elaborate on that for sure.
I think the only reason they do that is because they don't want other companies to see their stuff in UEFN, because it almost looks like UEFN is endorsing it, and they're saying,
it's putting attention to themselves.
Yeah, they don't want to be associated with it. They don't want to get into your legal trouble.
Yeah. And another thing that I hadn't, that's like my main issue with Epic. Their communication is not good. It's never been good.
Nope.
But I think a part of that is that like we all know that there were beta testers, there were alpha testers,
Yeah.
and everybody, were you one?
Yes.
Yeah. So one right here, and when people started coming out saying that they were in the alpha, so many people were like baffled by that and amazed. Like, what? You were in the alpha? And it's like,
yeah,
I feel like there should have been something from Epic like that. This was happening behind the scenes. It's not even that you. It's not even pointing out the creators, because I understand why they wouldn't point out the creators that have it. But
yeah, but
it's the fact that there's hidden shit.
Yeah, but why would they like tell? Hey, we're giving out like playtesters to like build maps. Why would they say that?
Or
they also.
I mean, I feel like that would spoil that it's coming. Like that.
Here's the thing, right? This kind of stuff happens all the time with games. They have these alpha tests and whatnot, and they don't tell the community because they don't want the community to know everything that's coming out and who's involved in that side of things. The reason why they bring Fortnite creators and Unreal Engine creators and all that is so that it could be the best it can be possible on release.
Yeah.
So that, because beforehand, like when you try to turn something into a prop, it was this entire process. But now it's just a click of a button.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that. It just makes it a little bit more in tune and understanding for people coming from 1.0. And I think the reason why they also let certain teams and whatnot work on maps is so when UEFN did release, there'd be content for people to play.
Yeah,
right.
There'd be hype. People could see what's already possible.
There was an issue behind that too that I had. I don't know if you're even allowed to mention this, but did Epic tell you guys at all that there were teams working on maps?
Yes.
For when they did?
They that's what they wanted. Because the best way to actually test this was to test workflows with teams, and the best way to test workflows with teams is to make a game.
And get a team to actually do it.
I don't know, there's not like, I don't have a huge issue with teams getting to make shit and publish it right on release. That's not a problem with me. One of my biggest problems was like Reboot Royale and Atlas. Atlas, those are Battle Royale.
I didn't even know about that. Those are like, I'm pretty sure like personal team projects.
I heard that a lot of people didn't know about that, but it's annoying to me because if you like those endorsed the idea of recreating shit that already existed so hard. Like people were already talking about recreating OG Fortnite, and I
if you ask me, like. You have like let's say, who do you guys think like the actual people who made like OG Fortnite basically? Atlas or Rainbow Royale?
It was Atlas.
Yeah, me too. Because I feel like
both. Both a team and because Dilly made recreated the OG map in 1.0 originally. So obviously he was going to do it in 2.0, right? Yeah. And Atlas was obviously going to do it because, I mean, at the time, money, right? But Epic issued a statement on that.
I got massive return out the window.
If you ask me, Atlas was the first in my opinion. And like, I don't know why the boy Dylan decided to make this when you have like the entire arsenal to make whatever you want. Like you have all the creativity in the world and just choose to like recreate the OG BR map, and they knew that Atlas was making it, so I don't know why they just said, "Hey, we're gonna make it too."
Well, because it was already in progress.
Right.
I know.
That's the thing, right? It's not like it was a completely unique idea. Like oh my god, I'm gonna copy them. It's more of an obvious thing, like, oh, people are gonna play this. Like right on launch, obviously. So they're, he's gonna continue working on it, especially if he already has a ton done on it, and he can make it the better one.
It's all about plays. It's all about plays because everyone knew that people wanted to see the OG Battle Royale get remade.
Even if he isn't making money off of it, he is technically making money off of it in the fact that there's a ton of eyes on his account. You know, he got a ton of followers from that. A ton of people are playing that map still and probably checking out his other things. So
yeah, but if you ask me if I had I was making a map like Rebel Royale, and then I saw that Atlas was making it. Let's say Atlas was before them and had more progress on it. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be the second person to do it, because that's what they did. Atlas was the first to release it, and then they came along and it was theirs. I would just scrap it and make another one. Honestly, I don't want to just be a copy out of another person's work. You know,
it
that's the issue, though. There's so much already done. It's not just as easy as just importing a hype map, if that's what he did. There's a ton of work, learning the engine, and he did most of that himself. Not even Atlas obviously did as a team, but he did it himself. And then got help from Power and whatnot. But they both announced it on the same day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I feel Atlas was the first, and then because I haven't heard from
Atlas was the first to release it, but the boy Dilly obviously it was one person at the time, so he still needs to make sure it's at a working state, you know?
Yeah, but still,
Dilly is a talented guy.
I would have liked if they chose a different type of map. There's a lot you can do.
It's back to it's what I said before. It's originality is what should be promoted with UEFN, because UEFN gives you the ability to make so much.
I think it sucks that both, Dilly and Atlas decided to go that route instead of really honing in the capabilities and what they learned during the alpha to actually make something unique and something they can update with new stuff that hasn't been seen in Fortnite, whereas they both just released the OG map.
It feels like a cash grab almost.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
it's exactly what it is. Yeah,
sure, it's not original, but Epic should have said something to Bodilli when they saw Atlas was already ahead of them in progress. So they should.
But they didn't. That's the thing. They're competitors, so they gatekeep that.
Yeah, but I would have.
There's nothing leaked.
I would have
because
I wouldn't. I don't know, but I wouldn't want two people if this is the big engine that'll skyrocket Fortnite. I don't want two people to be making the same map. That's not a good look for the engine.
Well,
I don't know why
it isn't.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think Epic were aware of those maps either. They weren't a part. Those two maps weren't a part of the ones that Epic promoted on UEFN launch, because those weren't the ones Epic was actually looking at.
Wasn't Atlas supposed to be one of the maps that are released on launch? If it wasn't memory issues, I mean.
No, Atlas just announced that they would release it on launch.
Oh, I see.
Not all teams were in the alpha right away. So certain teams actually came in a little bit later, which means their projects that they're working on wouldn't be overseen by Epic, which is why Team Unites also wasn't promoted by Epic.
Yeah. It was I would love to see more.
They said they started theirs in January, so
I would have loved to see more maps like the one that Alliance made. It was
I'd like to see maps like what 3D Lab did. They made all of their assets on their own. Sure, it was inspired by Sea of Thieves, but it was new. It put you in a different world.
I know what map you're talking about. I just remembered.
Oh yeah, the pirate one. Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah,
and Gemstone Tycoon.
That one was good. I liked it. But what I liked about Alliances most is that they incorporated their brand into the storyline of the map, and I thought that was cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, honestly, with like the voice acting, that was like
the voiceover, the cool little sequence, like "Welcome to the Alliance." It was so cool. It felt cinematic. It felt like you were in it, and I like that. I want to see more like that. But I don't like how those two teams endorse copyright and recreations. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just like there's so much more that can be done.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask some questions around because we haven't done that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Ender, you kind of just like popped in, and there was no introduction. You joined midway in. So for both of you, when did you guys start creative?
Very beginning.
Very beginning, day one.
Yeah.
Technically, if you're talking about like making stuff in creative from the beginning, but actually like posting it on social media and stuff, that was like back in chapter 2, I think. Because up to that point, I didn't like see creative as something that you could post around. When creative like got a lot of attention in the beginning of chapter 1, chapter 2, with like the build challenges and stuff like that. That's what really opened my eyes, and like I saw the potential in it, and then I started creating from there.
Yeah, I was like the same way. I started day one, but I never really thought that creative would go anywhere because Battle Royale was so big. So I kind of just ignored it, but it was around chapter 2 and 3 that I actually started doing stuff and promoting my content because I thought, like, wow, this is really cool. And it started mainly when they added the cars. I think it was chapter 2, season 4 or 5 when they added the cars to creative. And that really like sparked something for me.
Yeah.
But what was it? Ender, you started day one, but were you promoting content from day one? Was that just like always your gig?
No, I wasn't. I was just making stuff with my friends.
Yeah, I think that's how we all started, if anything. But how's creative been for you guys recently with UEFN? We're a little further into it.
I mean,
Good. It's been crashing and freezing a ton though.
Yeah,
So.
I've been seeing that. I mean, there's so many shit posts on that. It's so funny. Shit that us 1.0 creators don't have to worry about. Although we do have to worry about the server lifetime thing. I don't know if you guys noticed. They brought that back.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It was infinite back in chapter 3, I'm pretty sure.
But there was a reason why it got implemented in the first place. Like, the only reason that the server lifetime exists is because Epic servers are not very good. So many people playing the game at one time. So the server lifetime is meant to keep the servers stable. And so there's not like a million people loading into creative at one time. But them removing that just like fucked the servers, and I think we all got hit by that because loading math was slow, everything was slow, it was so bad. But then the server lifetime gets reintroduced, and I think everything's been a lot smoother as of recently, and I like that. But you guys have any projects that you're like planning on releasing?
Yeah, I mean, I already talked about it, but
right, yeah, you talked about it.
You want me to talk about it again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I said, it's like a super ambitious project that nobody like has done it before. So that's why I'm kind of excited to really work on it and stuff like that.
Is it like adventure?
I mean, it's an open world space game where you're basically gonna be spawning in a space station, and you can like explore different planets and stuff like that. And in the future, when Creative 2.0 like gets, how do I say it, like more advanced, I can add like actual spaceships instead of sequences. Because my plan here is when you want to go to a planet, you're gonna have to enter a cutscene to really kind of like fly there with this like a spaceship or something like that. Like, sure, I can use a retextured plane, but I also want it to be more controlled in a sense. I don't want them wandering off. So yeah. So it's gonna
versus
be like
a big word there.
And every like planet is gonna have a different theme. Like one is gonna be like an arena theme, and you can fight. One is more gonna be like, I don't know, a zombie fighting game. Like it's gonna be like an open world. We can pretty much do everything in it. We don't have to leave.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw a drivable ship on water made with verse.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I think that was with verse.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you really tried, you could probably turn that into like a spaceship or something.
Yeah, but as I said, I want to push it out as fast as possible since
Right.
I want to like, yeah.
Well, don't go too fast because the UEFN's a bit buggy.
Yeah.
One of the most annoying bugs that I've noticed is that transferring 1.0 maps to 2.0 breaks mechanics.
Oh, and memory just skyrocket.
And memory? Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I got a model from Sketchfab that was like 600,000 triangles, which is like 50k memory.
Yeah.
You'll not believe how much like polygons it had.
UEFN gives me device 2.0 flashbacks.
I mean, did you see the bike? The futuristic bike in 1.0 it was like 15,000 memory.
Yeah. That device's 2.0 update was so scary. Everybody was so hyped. You had new devices. It was going to be really awesome. And then you transfer, you find out your entire map's broken. Nothing works. The memory is skyrocketed 10 times past what it should be. It was so bad.
I mean, I saw a post from Tact where he imported a map from 1.0 to 2.0, and the fucking memory was like 200,000.
Yeah, shit is not okay.
It was like way higher than it should have been. I don't know why.
And then event binding is still a bug too. I don't know how it's been out this long. It is. There's still.
I haven't noticed anything.
It's not as bad, but there will be times where it'll just like disconnect from stuff. It's bad.
I feel like it's kind of difficult to like create mechanics in 2.0 since it's kind of complicated since we're so used to like going into a device and doing it since having the list to connect them. It was kind of hard. It's like the new system of the channels that they added a while back. I just never got into it, you know, so I just need to launch a session, then make the mechanics there. I don't know how to use it from the editor.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I do.
I was mentioning earlier that 1.0 still plays like a huge part in 2.0. Yeah. Because the mechanics are so difficult to make on UEFN, unless you're experienced, that you're kind of like forced to go into 1.0 and do all your mechanics there. But I'm sure over time, actually I know over time that's gonna change. There's gonna be a lot more people using Reverse. I feel like there's just UEFN came so fast and nobody really expected it because of how sudden the announcement was that it was releasing. Yeah. We all knew it was coming close. We all knew that. But it was so sudden because of all the delays and everything. Nobody was expecting it to come out.
It was like,
and then
hey, there it is.
Yeah. And then it just comes out of nowhere. There's just this big, overwhelming shadow over the community right now where everybody's worried about like what's going to happen in the future. And nobody really knows what to do. And there's a lot of discourage and a lot of lack of creativity right now because of that overwhelmingness.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I saw a map a while back where it's like 2.0 when you have all this creativity to do everything you want, and people just made a 1v1 map. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's kind of heartbroken to see that when you have like all the power in the world, you know.
I mean, I've honestly seen some really cool 1v1 maps in UEFN. Like I saw this one map. What the hell? What did I say? I saw this 1v1 map, and there's options. You can like change the speed of the game.
Yeah, I mean, not that. I mean, literally just like a 1v1.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
That was it. Yeah,
but it's like that's the cool part about UEFN is that in 1.0, there wasn't really many ways to make like a generic 1v1 good.
Yeah,
it was really hard to do that.
It's really basic.
But
there's nothing really much you can do with it.
With 2.0, no matter how basic a 1v1 is, you can still find a way to make it fun and enjoyable, and I love that about
it. I mean, people will still like it since it's just basically combat, and people want that.
Yeah, you know what I haven't seen in a while though? A box fight. I haven't seen a box
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
You're right. I haven't seen it actually.
There's no box fights to be found. It's either zone wars, battle royales, or 1v1 maps. That's all I've seen. Or pit recreations, but we don't talk about the pit
Yeah, those are all over the place.
here. But Jesus Christ, man.
Also, I've seen a lot of BR maps in UFN. Like,
Yeah, I
even
like that.
more because it's so easy to make them with the landscaping tool. So most people just
Right.
go that route, you know.
It's gonna be a lot easier now. Does the landscaping cost memory at all?
No, I don't think so. Like it's an external thing. I haven't tested it yet, as I said.
No, it
costs
definitely
me a very little bit if it does.
Ugh, my God.
But
Everything.
I've made
Everything
a
does.
huge
Yeah.
I'm
landscape,
sure Epic
and
finds a way to make things cost memory. It's lovely.
I mean, I made
Well, I
a
mean-
huge landscape, and it's only like 1,000 memory.
That's not
There's
bad.
like huge mountains and everything. Yeah, it's really not bad at all.
What was I gonna say? I got one last question, and then we're gonna shut it down because it's been an hour.
Yeah.
So with everything that's happening right now, what's been a huge demotivator for all of you?
It's too complicated.
Crashing. It's the crashing.
It's
For sure. It's the crashing, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really been affected by crashing that often. Like it only
Me neither.
crashes for me when I have it on Epic settings in the editor. I usually
Yeah, I set everything low.
Yeah. So I don't know. The main like demotivator for me was probably my map, like not being able to launch this session. That was like that sucked because I was like really looking forward to making it because I wanted to make like a medium looking map and then like this huge map, but I just had to jump into the new map immediately because this new one wouldn't work. So that sucked.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think there's any demotivator in UFN since it's like such a gift to build in. You can't really feel bad in it.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I gotta shut this down for the day.
Yep.
This was the first episode of the Vortex Lounge. Thank you, Ender, for showing up, and thank you, Alton.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you guys. Really cool.
Get out of here.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
You too.
And this was the Vortex Lounge.
This was nice.
All right.